Welcome back to MASL TV. Arnav Pokrell checking in from the Adirondack Bank Center as Utica City FC and the Baltimore Blast get ready for action. It's a pivotal game in the MASL standings, but even more than that, the storylines throughout the week have drawn attention to both teams. Let's start with Baltimore. Big signing last week. Jake Schindler, longtime MASL player, in fact was the Utica City Defensive Player of the Year in 2019-2020. He signs for the Blast. He scores last night against St. Louis. On the other side for Utica City FC, it's not just one story. It's a whole host of stories throughout the week. First off, early in the week, Utica City announced the departure of head coach Everton Moreira after 4 seasons with the team. Interim head coach is the general manager, Tommy Tanner. Tommy Tanner's got a stacked indoor soccer resume, including the 1992 MASL Rookie of the Year, 3 NPSL titles with the Cleveland Crunch. He was the assistant coach with Syracuse while he was playing with the Silver Knights as well. Utica also announced the trade of Barbaro Chalier to the Empire Strikers, as well as the signing of 2 target forwards, one being Francesco Pagano, a national champion with Syracuse University, another being the return of Joey Tavernisi, longtime UCFC player as well. So much to look out for in this one as Baltimore is set to get us started in the Adirondack Bank Center. We're underway. And another big note for Baltimore. One of their leaders, Juan Pereira, in his 200th career regular season game for the away side. He's had a long and storied MASL career. And Pereira is on the ball now. Julian Rodriguez starts in net. Pereira with some space in the midfield. And here goes Pereira, great feed across. Coming out to defend it, and it's off the post and in! An early goal for Baltimore. It's Patrick Thompson. I'll talk about veteran storylines. How about Thompson in his 12th MASL season, and how good has he been since coming back from injury earlier this season? Finds the inside of the left post and puts Baltimore up 1-0. It took only 34 seconds, and the Blast have a 1-0 lead. Really good work by Baltimore in transition. Juan Pereira did excellent to play the ball out wide, and Utica an early punch in the face as Baltimore take a 1-0 lead early on. Blast have possession again with Chad Porch. Here's Marco Nascimento and Rodriguez. Rodriguez, also a former Utica City player. Talked about the return of Jake Schindler as well. Here is Porch. Ospina. Missed tackle by Santos leads to another shot, and this time Wilkin pushes away. All the way back into the defensive half, Nascimento. Marks out wide, stonewalled by Mershad Ahmadi, who plays it up, expecting a run from Pagano. Mentioned Pagano on his way through early in the broadcast, but national champion 3 years at Syracuse, then transferred to Coastal Carolina for a season, then came back to the Central New York region to spend his final year of Division I soccer at Lemoyne with the Dolphins in 2025. Closed up shop on his NCAA career, and then played some MASL 2 games with Utica City's affiliate, United Elite Kreisnick FC. And when speaking to interim head coach and GM Tommy Tanner, Pagano's a guy that Utica wanted to sign a lot earlier, but Pagano just felt he wasn't ready just yet. And now made the call saying he's ready to come up and play some MASL soccer for Utica City FC. He's on the lines today for Utica for his MASL debut. Juan Pereira. Silla, who was suspended the last time Baltimore came and played in the Adirondack Bank Center. It was the second half of a back-to-back series, a home and away. Silla picked up a red card at home and missed the away return match here in Utica. Contact on the far side, but coming away with it is Manny Silva. And Silva tripped up at midfield. And a free kick upcoming for the home side, Utica City. MITRE is the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. Established in 1817, MITRE is one of the leading soccer brands worldwide and produces some of the best soccer balls in the world. Learn more at mitre.com. Chance for Utica headed away by Omar Silla. Manny Silva recollects for UCFC. Nilton de Andrade, his first game back in the Adirondack Bank Center. Made his season debut, as there's a harsh challenge. Advantage played, and now they'll call it back against against Utica City FC for Baltimore. You can see the reaction on the Baltimore bench there. Wanted a blue card to be shown. Challenge flag in the hand of one of the assistant coaches. Coaching staff led by David Bascombe, 17-year veteran, 12 seasons as the assistant coach. Led the team to many titles. As Baltimore have that 1-0 lead, 34 seconds in through Thompson. Here's Pereira. Drilled pass out wide. And on the rebound, the one-time shot. Bounces free in the box for Utica. Gerson. De Andrade dancing away from one, but stonewalled by Nascimento. And De Andrade commits a foul trying to win the ball back. Marco Nascimento on the season, no goals. Does have one assist. Last time he scored, it was March of 2020. Played in 11 games, now his 12th game for Nascimento. Here's a ball over to Porch. Porch on the volley, denied by Wilkin. Rolled short to Kyle Genrick. Amadi. Wilkin shading out of his net. But Utica elect not to use the goalkeeper in this run of play. Ball bounces off the knee of Nascimento. And Utica will push numbers forward. Speaking with the interim head coach, Tommy Tanner, before the game, he says the strategy is somewhat the same, but they want to simplify the game a little bit more. You'll see a bit of the 2-1-2 in play from the interim head coach. Rolled across by Pinal, but nothing doing for Utica's leading point scorer. Amadi goes back out wide. Rolled in, intended for Pinal. I don't think Santos saw the defense in the way. Pereira. Rolled back. Here is Schindler. Ospina. Back across the other way. Baltimore still lead 1-0. Scored in the first 35 seconds of the game. Here's Charo Ospina again. Back to Rodriguez. Native of Queens, was at a futsal national team camp. Rodriguez. And Wilkin picks up on the other side. Rolled out to Spur. Manny Silva. Got Toy Tavares to his right. He'll play Toy Tavares. Tavares off the boards to himself. Tavares rolls a shot in. Might get the rebound instead. Rodriguez pushes it away. And now a chance to counter. Schindler with options will keep possession with the Blast. Early goings in this one. Both teams a couple of chances here and there, but it feels like Baltimore, the aggressors, really good job working play through the midfield and around a less intense Utica press than what teams may be used to under the former head coach Everton Morera. Backheel flick by Tavares goes right into one of the Blast players. All the way back, Omar Silla. You'll also see defensively a bit more man marking from this Utica side. Players stick to who they're assigned to. See it with the off-ball movement of these Blast players. Everyone kind of running and guarding their man. Tavares and Pereira collide. And a foul called on Toy Tavares. player who leads the MASL in fouls called against him, 30th of the season for Tavares. Chance to set up a set piece. Silla off the boards, right in front, and somehow it ends high for Baltimore. On the doorstep with an empty goal. And Baltimore couldn't convert. How does that one miss? And that was Jonatas Mello. 13 goals on the season. He won't get many chances better than that. Header away, goes out into the stands on the other side. Defensive clearance. Top of the arc restart. And immediate timeout upcoming. Baltimore lead after a goal 35 seconds in. 1-0 Blast. We'll head to the break. We'll be right back with more on MASL TV. Welcome back to the Adirondack Bank Center. Baltimore Blast lead 1-0 thanks to an early goal. And the Blast score to make it 1-0. Top of the arc restart after the defensive clearance. And Gio Alves is the one to stand over it. Worked outside and scored! Mershad Amadi finds the back of the net, and we're tied 1-1. Interim head coach Tommy Tanner wanted simplicity. You can't get much more simple than that. Gio Alves rolled across. And Mershad Amadi can do it with his left foot. He can do it with his right foot as well. Rodriguez has his pass cleared out. Capelli Sport is the official and exclusive preferred uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Visit maslsoccer.com to shop the all-new MASL fan store for the latest MASL and team gear. You can also predict the MASL on nxtbets.com to place wages on the MASL all season long. Foul in the midfield, and Manny Silva runs away after winning his team a free kick. Alava lifts one up top, intended for the big man down low in Pinal, but it's another big man in Jake Schindler to head it back to Rodriguez. That's a battle you'll hear Joey Tavernisi talk about in our halftime conversation. Tavernisi and Schindler were teammates across 4 different organizations in the MASL. As here's Alava to clear away. Tavernisi, Schindler played together in Rochester for the Lancers, in Syracuse for the Silver Knights, here in Utica, and then also down in Florida for the Tropics. So 2 people that know each other very well and are very close. Schindler's parents are also in attendance, or his family's in attendance. As Silla has one deflected, it may have hit off the thighs of Alava and out of play. A little bit of contact on the far boards. Alava comes crashing in at the end and frees the ball. Pereira, Silla. Rolled all the way back and out to Jonatas Mello. Here's Pereira. Ball roll one way, and he'll cycle back around. Pereira goes down after the play, wanted a foul called, he won't get it. Now Pinal running free. Junior Pinal, 1-on-3. Tried the fancy footwork, but keeps possession with Utica. Willie Spur does the same and finds the returning captain, Logan Roberts. Long pass off the boards. Roberts, just 2 games played this year. Chance to Gerson, but it's corralled by Rodriguez. Last time Logan Roberts played, it was December 14th against Kansas City. Last time he scored over a year ago at this point. As Baltimore take it the other way. Rolled back, here's Mello. Jonatas Mello resets right on top of the UCFC logo at midfield. Nascimento. Alves makes a tackle. Alava keeps possession with Utica. Wilkin will roll it ahead. Gerson came flying in, but couldn't make the tackle. Patrick Thompson, the first goal scorer of the game, Resets play for Baltimore. Now dancing through the midfield. Worked out wide to Ospina. Eber Ospina dances and can't find a way through Tyson Santos. Again, you'll see that man marking come into play for interim head coach Tommy Tanner. Everyone has an assignment. Part of the simplification process as the team transitions. Pereira will fire a strike and it's wide. Had Wilkin frozen, but didn't have the accuracy. Rolled up ahead, cut away by Tyson Santos. Gerson missed on the 50-50 ball. Now a battle on the boards. Alava, Gerson, and coming in late there. And a foul goes against Nico Williams. Good to see Nico Williams back on the field. He suffered a tough injury last time Baltimore played here in Utica. That was January 19th. Really, really talented player and someone who really hurts Utica when he's on the field. Nilton De Andrade hustles back and keeps possession with Utica. De Andrade will utilize the goalkeeper possession that you're allowed, and Wilkin turns it right over. Tavares resets with Nilton De Andrade. Again, first game back in Utica, back in action in Utica. When Nilton's been here, he's just been hurt. Scored 4 points in a victory against Empire, including the game-winning goal in his first game back, but no points against San Diego. Here's Amadi. Already the one goal today. Amadi rolls one, but it's right into the hands of a waiting Rodriguez. Bit more contact on the back end, but Genrick comes away with the ball. Rolled out wide. Chopped down. The Major Arena Soccer League is proud to be collaborating with the American Heart Association to present Play with Heart Month. Visit heart.org to learn how you can support heart health. Part of that initiative, you'll see special armbands being worn by players. As we're back underway after the free kick for Utica. Final 2 minutes, one goal in the first 35 seconds for Thompson. Gave the Blast a 1-0 lead, but then out of the media timeout, Amadi scored. This one deflected to the hands of Rodriguez. Rodriguez rolls it out. Turned over, here's Spur. Manny Silva. Alava hounded on the back end by Pereira. And Alava maintains possession. Turnover the other way. Awkward bounce off the boards, 50-50 ball, and the first to it is Wilkin on the rebound. High pressure coming from the Blast. Spur assessing for an outlet pass. He finds one in Logan Roberts. Tyson Santos. Gio Alves. Roberts. Santos with a minute to go. First 14 minutes of play. We've seen a couple of great chances for Baltimore. Think back to that Jonatas Mello miss where he had an open net and sent it over the goal. But a great conversion by Patrick Thompson in the first minute. Utica responds out of the media timeout with Mershad Amadi from a set piece. 35 seconds and counting. Rolled back out wide with 25 to go. Pereira. 200th regular season game. Finds Mello. Out wide the other way. Turnover. 10 seconds. Is there one final run? Tavernisi. A light jog back to Rodriguez, who will go the length of the field. Header hits the boards, and that will do it for the first quarter. 1-1. It's Thompson and Mershad Amadi, the two goal scorers. But defense prevailing early on as Utica turns the page to a new chapter. We'll have the second quarter up next on MASL TV. So 15 minutes down, we've seen these two teams sort of in that feeling out process early on. After Baltimore got the early goal, settled down a little bit offensively, had the chance for Jonatas Mello that went over the crossbar. Utica responds on a set piece. Gio Alves, after 2 weeks ago having his 1-goal, 4-assist outing, gets an assist early on in this one. Here's a ball up ahead to Pinal. Pinal leaves De Andrade, and it's cleared away. Defensive clearance means a top-of-the-arc restart for Utica. Already scored off of one of these today. You got Nilton De Andrade, Gio Alves, Mershad Amadi, and of course Junior Pinal, Gordy Gerson on the floor as well. Pinal takes this one. It's saved by Rodriguez. Rebound also blocked away by Baltimore. Amadi up off the hands, wanted a handball. Rodriguez comes through the back of Pinal. But Rodriguez had every right to do so, and now here's a counter the other way. Rolled back and blocked out of play by Gio Alves. Good defensive work by Utica City FC, and Jonatas Mello denied. Right outside the top of the arc. Utica in disarray defensively with too many men on the floor. And Baltimore trying to slot one in, but the referee standing in the way. And now some discussions to be had because Baltimore just trying to play the ball while Amadi was still on the field. And because of the referee's counting of steps, weren't allowed to do so. Solo reset, still tied 1-1. Rolled out to Omar Silla. His shot blocked away by Nilton De Andrade. And Gerson's on the chase. Well recovered by Pereira. Mello. Marked out wide. Looking for the diagonal ball to an on-running Jonatas Mello, but unsuccessful. And Nilton De Andrade, the toe poke of a shot, goes wide. We're just 1 minute gone in the second quarter. Still 1-1. Thompson scored for the Blast. Amadi scores for Utica City. Early on in this one, refereeing crew is Austin Saney and David Bosick. Kit Hutchinson and Rich Abel, the off-field refs. Amadi fires and scores! Mershad Amadi at the double! And after trailing 1-0, Utica lead 2-1. That's just space you can't give Mershad Amadi. He shows the right foot and then turns to his left. Watch a little hesitation here from Amadi to throw off Nascimento and move him a step behind the play before rifling one into the top of the net with his left foot. Amadi scored one with his right, scored one with his left. He's a header away from a perfect hat trick. Of course, headers a lot harder to come by in this league as Utica take a 1-0 lead. For Amadi, came into today with 5 goals. He's already up to 7 now on the season. So now Baltimore with the task of responding. Bit of contact on the back end as Toy Tavares goes shoulder to shoulder with O'Neal Fisher. Back out the other way. Williams, the intended target up top. More contact from Tavares, and Alava just clears it out of play. Rides up off the boards and into the hands of the PA announcer, Tim Best. Back with Baltimore the other way. Haven't scored since 35 seconds into this game, looking for the offense to click. Again, Mello, think back to that missed opportunity. Open goal, Wilkin on the complete opposite side of the post, and he sent it above the net. Have to wonder, maybe he did it bounce up awkwardly on Mello, because those are shots that he can make in his sleep. Pass rolled up off the boards into the corner. Couple of moves on a turn, it's wide from Baltimore. And Joey Tavernisi lost for a second there. And the Blast again, great opportunity, but just couldn't place the finish on frame. Willie Spur resets for Utica as Genrick to his right. Up ahead to the main man, Junior Pinal. And Baltimore all over Pinal early on. Genrick will fire a shot. It's deflected out of play. And Utica will have a restart on the far side. Here's Gerson. Up off the boards, took a deflection on the way through. Willie Spur resets, that's Santos. Over to Alava. Now we'll have Gio Alves. Santos down to the corner and read well by Baltimore. Baltimore knows the Utica pathway to scoring goals is through the legs of Junior Pinal, and they've done a great job of neutralizing Pinal up top. The only thing is, that's opened up some space for Mershad Amadi to fire in 2 goals for Utica. Santos resets. And again, Baltimore pressing high against a Utica team, looking to pass out of it. Intended for Pagano up top. Shove in the back, and Santos clears away. No delay of game warning for that instance as Nascimento readies the free kick. Here's Mello and Rodriguez. Ball intended to the corner. Slipped down, and Pagano will clear it away. De Andrade tried the back heel flick to help it along, but missed his intended target. Return pass cut away by Roberts. He wanted a call there. He thought he was shoved. Instead, it's reset. Tavares clears away. Still loose in the box. Tavares again the header out. And this time Pagano gets the final touch, allows Utica to reset on defense. Pereira wants the ball on the boards. He'll get it. Pereira defended hard by Amadi. And Nilton De Andrade can come away with it. Missed the nutmeg and a shot the other way and scored. Jonatas Mello does the job, and then Eber Ospina fires in. That's a striker's finish for Ospina. Curled into the top right corner. And Ospina scores. Also scored against the Empire Strikers in a big 8-2 victory for the Blast. Good things happen when Chara finds the back of the net for Baltimore. Sent up the other way, and has to be almost volleyball spiked out by Rodriguez as he had to deal with that effort by Wilkin. Welly Bramus resets for Baltimore. 2-2 game. 9.5 minutes to go. Here's Mello. Out the other way. Back down low for Baltimore. Bramus looking for Jairo Guevara. Backheel touch intended for the speedy Welly Bramus. And Baltimore just missed that connection. Ball over the top to an on-running Kyle Genrick. And it's sent back to Rodriguez. And Baltimore may have caught Utica in transition here. Touch to goal, and it's cleared away by Pinal. Second touch helped along by Gordy Gerson. 8:41 to go. Catch MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV and CBS Sports Golazo Network. Alex Bastavansky and Phil Levanko are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap weekend's games and highlight the league's hot topics. That's MASL Monday, every Monday on MASL TV. Foul on the near side. O'Neal Fisher draws it for Baltimore. Fisher now in his 5th game, still yet to record a point. Couple of ball rolls back for Pereira as he sizes up the Utica side. Down to the corner. Sliding challenge from Santos. Junior Pinal spins away from a challenge. He's got a man grabbing his right shoulder, and that leads to the foul called on Pinal. Reset for Utica goes out to Wilkin. Wants the corner. He'll get it to Gerson. And Rodriguez reads it perfectly off the wall. Quick transition the other way for Baltimore. Turning into space. And there's a foul on Tavares. Kevon Frater did a great job of working free into space. Here's Mello. And the long-range shot hits off the top of the boards. It's still in play. Got to be wary, and Tavares, almost like he's heading for goal there, but he gets it back to Brian Wilkin. There's an injury to the head on the field of play, so they'll stop action right away. Nico Williams goes down. That'll take us to the media timeout as they take a look at Nico Williams on the ground. We'll head to a break. 2-2 game on MASL TV, and a yellow card comes out right at the break of it.
5 minutes non-power play to send Baltimore number 20.
So 5 minutes non-power play to Jonatas Mello will take us to the media timeout. Great call there by the refereeing crew to see that happen and call it before the media timeout. We'll be right back after the break. Amani will get us underway with possession. And there's some discussion about where this restart should happen. There was also, right before the media timeout, if you missed it, a yellow card issued to Jonatas Mello. So he's out for the next 5 minutes. Not a power play for Utica, but Baltimore without one of their top scorers in Mello. And it looks like conversation with the trainer for Baltimore. That's Heather Kolbus. Has looked to be good to go. And we're back underway. Tavares to Amadi. His 2 goals tied the game at 1-1 and then gave Utica a 2-1 lead before Ospina tied things up for the Blast. Last time these two teams met here in Utica, final score 4-2 in favor of the home side, UCFC. Baltimore with possession right outside the yellow line. Bermuse made her run, but it's over to Thompson. Scored just 35 seconds into the game to give Baltimore an early 1-0 lead. Thompson leaves it down low. Back across the run of play. Rolled in front, took a deflection off the heel of Tavares, and early on in the season for Utica, those would be own goals. And good adjustment by Wilkin to catch that out of midair. Wilkin's running on the boards now. Goes sliding down. Net is empty, and Wilkin clears it out of play. Omar Sella couldn't believe that there wasn't some sort of foul for Wilkin's on-rushing attempt at a slide tackle. And Wilkin might have gotten lucky with that one to not make contact with Silla because he was moving at full throttle. Here's Alava. Through pressure, will play back to Wilkin. Up ahead to Alava again. Long chase down to the ball and first to it. is Baltimore. There's contact right in front. Advantage played, and Pinole fires and scores! It is 5 games in a row for Junior Pinole to record at least a point. And now 7 points in the last 3 games for Utica City's leading scorer. And what a rifle of a left foot from Junior Pinole. Right through the legs of Chad Porch and into the bottom right corner. A 3-2 lead for Utica. Rodriguez. Rolled back to Nascimento. Nascimento again. Porch. Out wide. Here's Frater. Defended by Santos. And Santos gets the better of Kevon Frater that time around, but then plays it off the gates. It is a defensive clearance, so top of the arc restart upcoming for Baltimore. And again, a Blast team that is very good on set pieces. And there's another good-looking attempt by the Blast. It just misses Wilkins' right post. Cannot compliment the Blast enough on how good they've been on dead ball opportunities. Not just in recent running, all season long. It's been so well worked and so well coached. Here's Tavernisi. Looping up ahead to an on-running Logan Roberts. And Baltimore reset. Angled off the boards. Hard challenge in from Gio Alves leads to a free kick. And again, another dangerous looking set piece that Utica has to defend. Rolled up to Silla. His shot scored! Omar Silla finds the back of the net. And we're tied 3-3. And right on cue, just as we're talking about the Baltimore set pieces, bounces perfectly for Silla. It hits off the fingertips of Wilkin. And again, we're level. There's been 3 lead changes, and there's been 3 tiebacks and 3 leveling goals between these 2 teams today. Here's Tavares to get us started again. DeAndrade goes to the corner. Bounced awkwardly and dealt with. Milton DeAndrade cuts out the stretch pass to Ospina. Here goes DeAndrade. Dances past one. Took a deflection on the way through. Rodriguez may have touched it out of the box. And he did. Blue card shown to Rodriguez, and the challenge flag comes out. Here's the call from the referee.
2-minute blue card power play against the Baltimore goalkeeper for handling. This will result in a shootout.
Challenge flag comes out from head coach David Bascombe. And if this stands, it would be the 2nd consecutive game where Julian Rodriguez gets called for handling the ball outside of the box. It happened yesterday in the match against St. Louis. And then funny enough, the backup netminder, George Navarrete, also got called for a blue card on the ensuing shootout for a trip. And here's the call again.
Baltimore is challenging the call on the field of blue card handling.
So again, challenging the call on the field of handling outside of the box on Julian Rodriguez. Should get a good look at it here after the shot from DeAndrade took a deflection. Right there, you see the little touch of the hand when the ball's outside of the box. And of course, the one thing you're looking for is, did Rodriguez have possession of the ball before Gordy Gerson touched it? Because that would mean he established control and then Gerson took possession away from him. But it doesn't look like Rodriguez ever really had control and then you see that touch of the hand outside of the box. Quick review here.
After review, the call on the field, blue card, handling shootout stance is called. Baltimore loses their challenge and has no more challenges in the game.
And honestly, I'm a bit surprised at the early challenge flag thrown there by David Bascombe. It was a pretty obvious sight from up here. They send it to review, and for the second straight game, Julian Rodriguez picks up a blue card for handling outside of the box. George Navarrete goes into the net, and Willie Spur steps up for a big-time penalty shootout attempt. This time yesterday, it was in the third quarter when Rodriguez touched the ball outside the box. Navarrete also picked up a blue card. Here's Spurt. He'll have 5 seconds on the clock to shoot and score this shootout attempt. Gerson is 1 for 1 on his penalty shootout attempts this season. Spurt yet to take one for Utica City. Here goes Willie Spur. Dances away and misses. It's pushed away by George Navarrete. And this time, Utica unsuccessful. It was a great move by Spur. He had Navarrete a step behind the play, but instead of lifting the ball at the end, he just kind of rolled it and just missed to the right. And for Willie Spur, it would have been a great moment to put Utica back on top, but it does result in an ensuing power play, I should say, for Utica. So we'll see a power play unit that's 17% on the season. As there's a look at Utica City, former Utica City goalkeeper Julian Rodriguez in the box for Baltimore. Power play for Utica City, again, 17% on the season. Hasn't been a highlight, and it's something that interim head coach Tommy Tanner says they've simplified and they've changed around a little bit in this past week of practice. Rolled in, out to Pinal. Pinal looking through the legs of Navarrete. Good strong hands by the backup netminder. Utica is 3 for 9 in the power play at home. As now dancing the other way. Pinal will reset, about 40 seconds gone on the man advantage for Utica City FC. Baltimore on the road in penalty kills, 8 for 12. Utica 4 for 17 on the season in terms of power play percentage. Rolled up ahead, Gio Alves went down. It's going to be a shorthanded opportunity for Baltimore. Utica's already given up one shorthanded goal this year. In goes Pinal sliding. And this could be a break the other way. DeAndrade shrugging off defenders. Out to Gerson. DeAndrade's taking down. And a free kick upcoming. And there's more words after from Marco Nascimento. DeAndrade just sitting there, and Nascimento comes up and makes his presence felt. And now you're seeing the referee call DeAndrade, saying to both the players to quit the extra words. 40 seconds of a power play left for Utica after the missed shootout attempt from Willie Spur. Both teams missing some good chances. Spur, the missed shootout attempt. Jonatas Mello in the first quarter missed a wide open goal. He sent it high. Alves, Pinal. And that one bounces out of play on the restart. 35 seconds to go on the man advantage. DeAndrade resets with pressure, and Wilkin will collect. Half a minute to go in the power play, and still pressure from Baltimore. Pereira. Poor outlet pass from the Blast, and Gio Alves the other way. Rolled up ahead. Gerson's all alone. Gerson! Navarrete may have got a piece of that. A great stop. And Utica, after being unsuccessful on the shootout attempt from Willie Spur. We'll watch a power play expire. And it remains 3-3. Out the other way to Gerson. Amadi on hat-trick watch. Amadi turns the other way. Held out by Navarrete. Alava. Couple of good stops on this Navarrete cameo, including the save on the shootout attempt. Spur missed it wide, but Navarrete still had to push away the follow-through. Alava, toe pokes to goal. Big contact in the run of play. Dead ball, and that allows Julian Rodriguez to get back on the field. Actually, they'll keep him in the penalty box for now. Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. You can also subscribe to the MASL YouTube channel for highlights, game rebroadcasts, and more content. Ball up ahead, intended for Frater. Logan Roberts and Kyle Genrick clean things up on the back end. Turning is Pagano. Native of Syracuse, New York, played high school soccer at Fayetteville Manlius in the area. Now is playing MASL in Utica, just an hour away from Syracuse. Frater tries a shot as we're in the final minute of the first half. Shove on the back end from Logan Roberts, no doubt about that call, as Frater went flying to ground. Joey Tavernisi runs back on. Here's Ospina. Fisher out wide. Fisher can get it back, he does. Plays it to Eber Ospina. Back heel flick, Spur chases Ospina. Spur did the initial job, but Ospina still has possession, and Wilkin with a kick save off the boards. Half a minute to play in the first half. Pressure coming from Manny Silva. Had an on-running Toy Tavares, but I don't think Silva saw him, and it leads to a chance for Baltimore, and Silla shoots high. Up into the netting, Utica with possession, and 12 seconds to go in the first half. So Brian Wilkin will restart it. 12.2 on the clock. In a game that is providing excitement just like we expected, with so much to ask on this Utica side. They've held their own against a Baltimore team that, for lack of better words, needs some consistency as of late. The horn will sound for halftime. We're tied 3-3. And we've got 30 minutes to find a winner between Baltimore and Utica City FC. The 3 goals for Baltimore. It started 35 seconds in with Patrick Thompson. Then Eber Ospina scored, as well as Omar Silla. For Utica City FC, it's been 2 goals from Rashad Amadi. All right, 2 quarters to go and 30 minutes to play here inside the Adirondack Bank Center. First of the only home back-to-back of the season for Utica City FC. Baltimore today, St. Louis tomorrow for the team from Central New York. Final touches in before kickoff, and we're underway. Jairo Guevara gets us started. And immediately Baltimore pressing the issue. They scored early on in the start of this game. They'll try to replicate that with Juan Pereira on the ball now. Juan Pereira in his 200th regular season game as an MASL player. And he's dispossessed by Murshad Amadi. And Amadi, the outlet pass actually went right into the hands of Omar Silla. Back the other way. Baltimore with possession with Mello. Rolled out to Julian Rodriguez. Back in goal after he was stuck in the penalty box after serving that blue card. He can't go back in until a ball out of play or a dead ball situation. Nilton De Andrade having switched cleats at halftime. I guess not cleats, they're indoor turf shoes, but He's wearing pink ones in the first half. He's switched to black ones here in the second. Still with Baltimore. Schindler. Little drop pass by Chad Porch. Schindler dispossessed. Here goes DeAndrade with his speed. Tried the touch around the Baltimore back end in Ospina. Good track down by Chara. And he's fouled by Pagano. Talked about the signing of Tavernisi and Pagano recently for Utica. Both target forwards after the trade of Barbaro Chalier to the Empire Strikers. Chalier, who scored over 10 goals this season for Utica. As there's a shot denied by Santos. Good to see Nico Williams back out there for Baltimore. He went down holding on to his head early on in that second quarter. Backheel flick. Mello flicks it, and it's just wide. An outside of the foot shot from Jonatas Mello. Baltimore still with possession. This one wide the other way. Two great looks in the first 2 minutes of the second half, and yet Baltimore and Utica remain tied. Rodriguez sets up and will drill it long, but it's right into the path of Brian Wilkin. Native of Queens, New York, Julian Rodriguez. Played for Utica City FC from 2022 to 2024, and then signed with Baltimore. Split some time with Zierhofer last year, but really has been the main guy this year and been one of the best in the MASL. Here's a chance the other way. Rolled down low, curling effort to the back post, but it's wide of an outstretched foot. Gerson, hounded by traffic, he goes down. And there's the delay of game warning for Baltimore. Kick after the whistle. Confirmation of the warning issued to Baltimore. Of course, nothing comes of it now, but Baltimore can't do it again. Alves. Return pass off the boards. Looking to replicate his 5-point outing a couple of weeks ago. Already has 1 assist today. Ball goes out of play. Gerson wants another delay of game warning. He won't get it. And the ball was not placed properly on the restart, so they'll take it back. It allows Baltimore to settle down defensively. And back underway as Gerson taps it to Alves. Wanalava assisted the junior Pinal goal. Of course, Pinal did a lot of the heavy lifting on that one. As here's Genrick. All the way back to Brian Wilkin. Heard from Rashad Ahmadi right before the halftime break about how he expected the conversation to be about Utica possessing more in this second half, and they've done so and do so now. Here's Pinal, bearing down on goal, pass across and scored. It's Gordy Gerson. He wants Pinal to celebrate with him, but it's just Gerson to celebrate alone and give Utica a 4-3 lead. Pinched away in the midfield. I believe it was Schindler who lost it, and Utica come flying the other way. Junior Pinal, you think he's going to shoot, and then at the last moment, after he gets both Fisher and Rodriguez to commit, plays it over to Gerson for an easy tap-in. And Utica lead 4-3. And there's a shot on the volley. Utica looking for a quick response after going up 1-0 by 1 in this second half. Here's Baltimore the other way, 2-on-1 for the Blast. Hustling back, here's Williams. Williams drags it wide and went through the legs of Santos. Good connection by Baltimore, but that last pass to Mello was wide right, and Mello has to track it down. Sent back in. Williams out wide, rolled across. Bramoose, saved by Wilkin. A kick save with his left foot, and somehow Willie Bramoose hasn't scored there. Take another look at a great chance by Willie, and an even better stop by Wilkin. That's two golden chances for Baltimore. The one in the first half that went over the bar after Wilkin was out of his net. And there by Bramoose, it's just a great save. That one wasn't a miss. Wilkin just made a great stop. Alava rolls ahead for Tavernisi. Nothing doing for the 12-year MASL veteran. Utica actually wanted to sign Tavernisi about a month ago, but in those early trial practices, interim head coach and GM Tommy Tanner said Tavernisi picked up a slight injury and they wanted to wait to announce it until he was ready to come back and play. There's a curling effort to the corner. Rolled up ahead, great look, and scored! It's the second of the game for Ospina. And again, Baltimore finds a response. Great passing play from Baltimore, connecting up in. The off-the-ball run by Ospina. No one tracked him for Utica. And again, Utica throws a punch, and Baltimore counters right back and ties the game at 4-4. Two players now on hat-trick watch. Mershad Ahmadi for Utica and Eber Ospina for Baltimore. Assist goes to Jairo Guevara. Genrich ran down on the far boards. He'll still chase it on Rodriguez, who gets it away quickly. Back heel flick, turned over. Genrich up off the boards, pushed away by Rodriguez. Great pass there to Silla. Kevon Frater was stretching around a defender and somehow got a touch to it. That's impressive stuff from Kevon Frater. Nascimento. Pereira. And Mello. Again, keep an eye on those off-the-ball runs for Baltimore. Just saw Jonatas Mello screaming down the middle of the field, waiting for the pass to come in. Here's Santos. Trying to roll quickly off the boards, and now a breakaway. Closing down is Nilton, still in, and rolled across and scored. Kevon Frater finds the back of the net, and Baltimore with a quick-fire double to take a 5-4 lead. And the Blast, after rebounding in a big way, lead 5-4. That'll take us to the media timeout. Just under 8 to go in the third quarter. You're watching the MASL on MASL TV. Welcome back inside the Adirondack Bank Center, underway after the media timeout in the third quarter, and two quick-fire goals from Baltimore. First it was Ospina, then Kevon Frater, and can Utica respond? Tavernisi with a swing and a miss. 8 seconds after the restart, Tavernisi had a look on goal, but great defensive stand by the Blast. Nilton De Andrade picks up the ball in the midfield. Tried the long-range effort. Blocked in front. Here's Ahmadi. Tavernisi will recycle and change for Junior Pinal. And here is Pinal on the ball with Roberts. De Andrade back to Wilkin. Wilkin takes on a man and clears it the other way. Turnover and a chance to shoot from distance as Schindler rolls it up the field. Thompson fired it wide. Had a really tough angle there, but Baltimore can reset. And they will reset back to Rodriguez. Here is Juan Pereira. Rolled up ahead. It's Jairo Guevara. Guevara on the turn. Couple of battles. Bodies go flying to the ground. Still Baltimore. Ospina, Porch, scores! 6-4. The Blast have turned it around in a big way in Utica. No stranger to big moments, Chad Porch, but this one, while it may not have $1 million check behind it like he scored in the summer of 2024, it's a big-time goal for Baltimore. We take a 6-4 lead, and right away Utica calls timeout. Last 3 goals of the game have gone the way of the Blast. First it was Ember Ospina to tie things at 4-4. And 75 seconds later, Kevon Frater scored to take us to a media timeout. And then right after the media timeout, we get back in the game, and it's a goal for Baltimore scored by Chad Porch. 3 unanswered for the away side, looking to rebound after yesterday's loss. Final score 7-3 in yesterday's loss for Baltimore. Trailed 4-1 at halftime, 6-2 at the end of the third, but goal scored by Kevon Frater, Jonatas Mello, and Schindler. That was yesterday's matchup. Today, the offense has been there for Baltimore, especially in this third quarter. Scored 3 goals in the third quarter alone. That's the same as they scored in the first half of the game, where we came into the half tied 3-3. So a different discussion here for Utica after coming out of the blocks, firing, and scoring 4 minutes into the third quarter, giving up 3 unanswered. And 3 really well-worked goals by the Baltimore press, winning the ball back high. Good passing plays by the Blast to take that 6-4 lead. You might be hearing from the ref here in a moment.
Utica is challenging for a foul prior to goal being scored.
So Utica throws the challenge flag with 6.5 minutes to go for a foul prior to the goal being scored. See how far back they allow this one to be looked at. Of course, you've got that phase of play. They're going to look at this Jairo Guevara incident on Juan Alava. You can see him complain immediately, and get a good look here as Guevara and Alava get tied up. I don't think there's much in that from Jairo Guevara. Pereira standing in the way there. You just get a good look at the jersey and armband of Juan Pereira. I feel like this is the best look that Utica has, and again, don't see much in that. I think that's a fair 50-50 battle between Jairo Guevara and Juan Alava. We'll see what the referees decide here. So 2 challenges, both unsuccessful, 1 for each team. Utica loses the challenge there on the contact between Alava and Jairo Guevara. Again, didn't see much in that. I think sure in a way that's the right call by the refereeing crew, led by Austin Saney and David Bosick. And it means Utica is in a 2-goal deficit with a quarter and a half to play. And here's a chance for Utica right away. It is Pinal, the hard shot off the boards. Genrick will leave it to Alvis. Manny Silva. Haven't said his name too much today. In fact, we'll say his name because he stood in the way of a pass intended for the corner boards, but Genrick does a good job of maintaining possession. Silva goes off for a change, grabbing the back of his head. Genrick and Alava playing give and go right now. No way through this Baltimore press. Wilkin instead just launches it to the corner, and Baltimore will have possession. Chance on the break for Baltimore. There goes Williams, and Genrick goes shoulder to shoulder with him. Genrick wanted a foul on the back end. Thought he was pushed into the boards. Alava had the option up ahead, and Gerson instead maintains possession with Tyson Santos. Both teams with missed chances in this game. Early in the game, Baltimore had a wide open goal. The ball was sent over the net and out of play, or hit the back of the boards, I should say. And then Utica, the shootout attempt for Willie Spur, did a great job of getting around the fill-in netminder for that moment in George Navarrete, but then missed the net entirely with a shot that went to the right of the near post. As Pagano tripped up, Gerson still with possession. Took a deflection on the way through, and Baltimore come away with it. Welly Bramus, he's held up. Didn't get taken down. I think he ran into the boards on the far side. And Bramus and Gerson help each other up. Possession was deemed to be in control with Utica. But Bramus goes down hard. Good to see him get up quickly and keep on playing. Tavares. The outlet is to Marshad Amadi. Recycled back to Alava. Tavares. Amadi. 2 goals today, but really hasn't had a sniff at goal since he scored the second. Been struggling to find Marshad Amadi in open spaces. Here's Tavernisi off the boards. Bounces over the head of the veteran. Good work by Frater to keep possession for Baltimore. 3 unanswered goals for the Blast have Baltimore up 6-4 against Utica. Worked out wide. Good return pass. The extra pass over off the boards. It'll fall nicely for Baltimore and control possession on the far side rather than risking the shot. Baltimore wants possession of the ball. They'll go to the near side and mellow. Contact into the boards on Tavares. Baltimore wants a blue card. They won't get it. And of course, no reviews, as David Bascom used his earlier on in the game for that Julian Rodriguez handling the ball outside of the box incident. Angled shot in. That's a tough angle to shoot at for the Blast. And Wilkin wants to throw it long and does. Amadi, hat trick! Utica back within 1. 3rd goal of the game for Marshad Amadi. How about the throw from Brian Wilkin? It takes a hit off the shoulder of Amadi. So no 3-line violation on the throw. Of course, no 3-line violation on throw and play from the goalkeeper anyways. And then Amadi, left foot volley past the outstretched arms of Rodriguez, who had gone to ground to cut down the angle. And 6-5 now, Baltimore. Scored 3 unanswered, but the home team never out of the game. Pulls it right back to within 1. Wilkin picks up the assist. Wilkin also has a goal in the year, a couple of assists to add on to that. Dancing free into space. Still Baltimore. Bramus on the volley. It's blocked away by Utica. Foul called in the process anyways. Brian Wilkin, his last assist came against a Blast team that was actually on the road in Baltimore. He then scored against Tacoma on the road as well. Rodriguez. Turnover. And a long-range shot from Genrich goes just high. But that's what Kyle Genrich has brought to this Utica team. Very energetic player. And of course, only in his second year of MASL soccer. Back to Rodriguez, and there's a whistle. And Utica wanted to take advantage of Baltimore changing. It was possession going the way of the Blast. I don't know what Alava and Pinal thought there. And grounds, of course, for a potential delay of game warning. Utica hasn't had one yet, but referees deem it innocent enough. No delay of game warning on that Alava attempt, as Alava went off the field for Tavares, who heads that one away. Rolled up ahead on the turn. Williams, he went down in a dangerous spot. Jonatas Mello is pointing to where he thinks the foul occurred. It'll be right outside on the arc as Williams went down. But again, Baltimore much improved on set pieces this year. And Utica hands them a chance from a dangerous angle. Mello runs over it. Juan Pereira. And blocked away by the Utica wall and out into the UCFC bench. 96 seconds to go in the third quarter. And after a cagey affair in the first 30 minutes of play, these last 15 have been entertaining as ever. Out into the hands of Wilkin. And again, Wilkin wants a long throw. Francesco Pagano and Chad Porch going head-to-head, and Chad Porch comes out the better of the two with possession. Mello. Rolled back to Pereira. Pressure coming from Juan Alava. Final 60 seconds of the third quarter. De Andrade, and a quiet day for him so far. Out to Alava. Amadi, already on a hat trick, looking for four, and it's blocked off the line by Chad Porch. Great read by the defender, and then a big challenge. Whistle blows a second after Utica had made a pass. Baltimore will have possession in the defensive zone of the free kick, much to the displeasure of the home Utica crowd, but no doubt about that foul, I think, in reasonable terms, as Schindler stands over the free kick. Banked off the boards, it's turned over. Genrich, and he sends it out of play. 37 seconds left in the third. Back out, and Schindler will basically have a do-over of the free kick he just had. This time he drills it to the far corner. Brought down by Baltimore. Battle with Logan and Roberts. It works out free. Ospina fires, blocked in front. And here's a turnover, and here goes Mershadi. He's already got three, and now he has four. It's a career high in goals for Mershad Amadi. He eclipses the hat trick he had against Harrisburg in March of 2025 with a 4-goal performance to tie the game at 6. You keep on waiting for Mershad Amadi to have that breakout game, and this could be the moment for Utica. They may have found a second target option in Mershad Amadi to supply around Junior Pinal. So tying at 6 in the final 10 seconds of the third. as part of the boards go falling off and into the crowd on the far side. The final horn will sound. They'll have to get that fixed. Saw the board kind of slip down there, but we're tied at 6 after Mershad Ahmadi scores late in the third. And that'll take us to the final quarter of play. Utica 6, Baltimore 6. You're watching the MASL on MASL TV. Going into the fourth quarter, as we're back underway, 6-6, Mershad Ahmadi has 4 goals for Utica City FC. Panal chests it down, and there's a whistle called. May have hit the underside of the scoreboard, which is a superstructure violation. And a yellow line restart for Baltimore. Already scored from a set piece today, the Blast. Utica's done the same. And the routine was looking for Silla. Instead, Alava will transition out of play. And Nilton De Andrade gets a crucial touch on the back end. He's still pressured hard and commits a foul in the process. 14.5 minutes to go in a tied game between Utica and Baltimore. And if there's one score that stood out across the MASL this season, I believe the number is now 12 games that have ended with a final score of 7-6. We will see a winner today, and if it is 7-6, that'd be either the 13th or 14th time that has happened. In fact, we even saw one last night with the Sockers beating the Comets 7-6 in a shootout. That was one of the best games the MASL has produced all year long. Here's a header from Baltimore out wide. Angle down to the corner for the Blast. Off the boards, off the post, and wide. Utica scrambling defensively, but the home team does enough to keep the ball away from Wilkins' net. Here's Ospina. He's got some room. Work down low, angled off the boards, cleared away by Pinal. Bramus, the outside of the foot strike, goes well wide of Wilkin. Nascimento will hold. Welly Bramus resets. Alava pressures hard. And here's Chad Porch. A goal today for Baltimore. And there's a shot just high of Wilkin. Rebound will fall, and it's high again. Couple of great looks for the Blast. And Utica just clear away and reset defensively. Much needed breather, even if it is just for a second. For Utica, Schindler was free on the backside. And there's a shot parried away by Wilkin. And the clearance out of play by Willie Spur. It's a defensive clearance. And a top-of-the-arc restart incoming for Baltimore. Here's a look at the Wilkins save on the Nico Williams shot. Chicago native, 6 games, 3 goals, 1 assist this year for Williams. Worked out wide, off the boards, cleared away by Tavernisi. May not be on the score sheet just yet, but his presence has been invaluable to Utica, especially as the home team hunkers down defensively. Baltimore continue to press the issue with Omar Silla. Punched away by Wilkin, he goes tumbling down. It is another defensive clearance and another top-of-the-arc restart incoming for the OA side. Tavernisi can't believe it. A set play routine for Baltimore, and they'll call timeout. 12:41 to go in the fourth. And Jonatas Mello signals timeout. Tavernisi still having a discussion about the defensive clearance call. See in the discussion between Tavernisi. His first game of the season, played 2 years, his prior 2 years in Harrisburg. Won't see it, but Tavernisi is still having that talk with Austin Saney. You can get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, and MASL Arena on Twitter. You can also subscribe to the MASL on YouTube for game rebroadcast and league content, among other things. Including those other things, you can catch MASL Monday, every Monday night on MASL TV and CBS Sports Golazo Network. Alex Bastavinsky and Phil Levanko are joined each week by special guests from around the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics. That's MASL Monday, every Monday night on MASL TV and CBS Sports Golazo Network. Top of the arc restart upcoming after the Baltimore timeout. In a tied 6-6 game, Mershad Ahmadi for Utica has 4 of the Utica goals. Eber Ospina has 2 for Baltimore. And here's the routine. Sees a secondary wall of Baltimore players in front of the Utica wall. Omar Silla is the lone man up top. They all split away. And Kyle Genrich reads it perfectly. And there goes Genrich with the energy and the pressure. Ball is left for Jairo Guevara. Alava takes him down, and again, Utica called for a foul. Referees want the ball moved to where the foul happened, rather than where the ball ended up. .26 to go in the fourth quarter. Utica sitting at the bottom of the MASL standings. Baltimore sit in the final playoff spot, 6th, 5 points ahead of Utica. This is a real playoff 6-pointer, especially if a team can pull out a regulation victory. Silla curling effort up into the netting for Baltimore. Here goes Wilkin to the restart. He'll find Alava to his left. Juan Alava conducting play. They'll use Wilkin and go long. Avoids a 3-line violation with a perfectly placed ball ahead of the yellow line. Here's DeAndrade. Tyson Santos. Back to DeAndrade. Alava. Ahmadi. Back heel flick along the boards to Nilton. And there goes DeAndrade. Still waiting to score that first goal back in the Adirondack Bank Center, and he'll have to wait a bit longer. As here goes Welly Bramus. Great feed ahead to Frater. And Tavares and Frater tied up. Ball goes out of harm's way for Utica. Pass cut out by Tavares. Penal has an on-running Tavares to his left. Plays Tavares. Diving block. Came flying in by Pereira. Ahmadi, 4 goals today, is not going to get his 5th just yet. But never count him out. Turned a goal on the breakaway to tie things up at 6-6 at the end of the third quarter. Genrich goes long. Penal tripped over Rodriguez. He'll get another chance on the corner boards. There's Penal wriggling away. Is it a 5th for Ahmadi? No, that one escapes his footing. Keeps possession with Genrich. Spur. Rolled back out to Genrich again. Alava. Far side, Manny Silva. Silva off the boards. Genrich up there. And his shot chipped wide. Shuffled back to Brian Wilkin. And a foul called on Nico Williams. Willie Spur on the pass back to Wilkin was pushed from behind. And just enough contact on that to deem the foul. Silva looking to use his speed and dance around the defense. Instead, circles back to Alava. Penal. There's a shot from Alves. No stranger to scoring from distance, especially on those one-time shots that are drilled low. Play circles back around to Gio Alves. Here's Pagano. He's shrugged down, and there's the call. Francesco Pagano draws the foul. one of the taller target forwards for this Utica side. Pagano, and of course talked about his NCAA career, spanning 3 schools, 5 years, and 1 national championship with the Syracuse Orange. Here's Gerson. Banked pass off the boards. And advantage play. Does Baltimore have an opportunity? Mershad Amadi for his 4 goals today. That might be one of the most important plays he makes, stopping the Baltimore counterattack. Gerson flicks it up ahead. Ball runs out of play on the boards. Just under 9 minutes to go in a scoreless 4th quarter. We came into the 3rd quarter tied at 6-6 after Mershad Amadi scored his 4th of the game. One off the chest of Gerson, but remains with Baltimore. Miscommunication. Mello worked free. Saw Pinal and Gerson both go after Welly Bramoose, and that left Mello with the ball free at the yellow line. Bramoose is free again, and this one just high. Header out the other way. Intended for Schindler. Here is Jake Schindler. Rolled across. Bramoose had Wilkin frozen and cleared away by Utica. Rodriguez back down. And Baltimore turn it over. DeAndrade hustling. A hand extension from Mello, not enough, as the referee signaled Nilton DeAndrade to get back up. Utica in a little bit of disarray defensively, and a great look for Baltimore. Amadi spins away. He's got the confidence of a man who's scored 4 times today. That's because he has. 4 goals for Mershad Amadi, his career high. But there's a turnover. Poor pass by Tavares, and the shot goes wide. Body's flailing around in the box as Nilton DeAndrade regains possession, and he's shrugged down. And finally we get a whistle and a stoppage. Nilton DeAndrade makes his way back to his feet and plays to Wanalava. Manny Silva. Didn't see much of him in the middle stages of this game, Manny Silva, but a couple of shifts back on for the forward. Pagano turning away from pressure. This one played down low to Thompson. Silla. Crossfield pass. Played up to Williams. Here is Nico. Rolled back up top. And Baltimore reset. Here is Omar Silla. Rolled in, but right to the foot of Kyle Genrick. Through the legs of Wanalava, and he will shield it out for Brian Wilkin. Wilkin looking for Gordy Gerson in the corner. Gerson and Alava battling with Pereira, who threw an arm. Wasn't enough in it. Baltimore's got a guy at the back post, as down goes Tavernisi on the back end. And again, there's that veteran presence for Joey Tavernisi. Knows where to be to stop a promising attack for Baltimore. Genrick. Alvis. Genrick drills it forward. Pinal off his chest and out of play. And that will take us to the media timeout. All to play for with 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go here in the Adirondack Bank Center. You're watching the MASL on MASL. Throughout the game, you'll see the MASL Heart Month promotions. In a cardiac emergency, every minute counts. Visit heart.org to learn what you can help become part of the nation of lifesavers. As we're back underway, Rodriguez rolls it forward. Out to Chad Porch. He's got a goal in today's game. Turning is Guevara. Bramoose fires just high. He's had a couple of great looks at goal today, Welly. Contact on the back end as Gio Alves and Toy Tavares in a midst of confusing decisions, and then Tavares sends one into the ceiling. So a superstructure violation and a yellow line restart for Baltimore. (6-6) with 5.5 minutes to go. The goal here really gives momentum. The pass pops off the foot, and it's an easy clearance for Gio Alves. Kyle Genrich hustles to it first. He'll play it up, intended for Tavares. Big collision between Tavares and two Baltimore players, and they're going to say Tavares pushed the two Baltimore players together, and Rodriguez and Juan Pereira. We'll get a look at the replay here. Tavares immediately held his hands up. I think there may have been even just the slightest touch, especially with Pereira moving that fast to backtrack to the ball and Rodriguez coming out to meet it. Collision that thankfully looked worse than it was for the players' health and safety as they call the play back. Restart happened too quickly for the referee crew's liking. But it resets us with 5 minutes to go. And Kevon Frater shoulders it down. He wins it back off the foot of Genrich, who goes sliding in. There's a whistle, and there's a blue card for Kyle Genrich. The second blue card of the season for Genrich. A slide challenge right outside the arc.
2 minutes, number 20.
After Kevon Frater made it through the pressure of Genrich. So now out steps the Baltimore power play unit, 33% on the season for the Blast. But on the road, Baltimore 1 for 4 on the power play. Roll down to Silla. His shot saved by Wilkin. 5 minutes to go in the game and a 2-minute power play for the Blast. This could be crucial in determining the momentum as the game comes to its close. Porch rolled back. It is all the stars on the field for Baltimore. Silla, Porch, Melo, Ospina, and of course the captain, Juan Pereira. Here's Porch. Back to Silla. Silla gets it back again. Rolled up ahead, free man in the box and scored. Jonatas Melo finds the back of the net on the power play. And the Blast lead 7-6. Just a gap in the Utica penalty kill. And Jonatas Melo settles down in the box, takes a touch, and on the turn, fires it past Wilkin at point blank range. Nothing the goalie could do about that. Four and a half minutes to go for Utica to conjure up a response. Pinal has 1 goal today. Amati's got 4 for UCFC. Santos rolls it up ahead. Rodriguez settles down. Scoops it long. Big collision of heads. And 2 players go down hard. It's a blue card on Baltimore. And Willie Spur is immediately down and being looked at. Could hear that one all the way up here. Both trainers come running out as players from both sides take a look over the incident. Can hear the collision from up here for both of them. A scary moment for the two. It's Willie Spur and it's Nico Williams. And Williams immediately has a blue card pointed to him. I can't, I'm not a professional lip reader, but I believe the words there from the refereeing crew was 100%.
Card 2 and power play against Baltimore, number 6 for charging.
Confirmation of the blue card shown to Williams. And the trainer, Heather Kolbus, will actually walk with Williams back to the penalty box to make sure he's okay to go in. It is charging the official call. And now standing over it is Adirondack. Utica already unsuccessful on one power play today. I'll have a go at another. That power play, of course, was the first shootout attempt after Rodriguez was called for handling outside of the box. Willie Spur missed a shootout attempt. As here's Amati, fakes a shot. Thought about pulling the trigger, instead it's worked around to Spur. Back to Amati. Adirondack. Spur. Down low, Gerson. Nothing doing for the Utica power play just yet. Here is Amati. Adirondack. Pinal has some space, but the shot deflected and finds Julian Rodriguez. He'll throw long. It's intended for the lone man up top for Baltimore. And quick restart. 3 minutes to go. 1:05 on the power play as the crowd back into it. Rolled ahead to Pinal. Adirondack. Pinal. Spur. Adirondack again. Amati wants it. Instead, it's Gerson! Power play goal for Gordy Gerson. And Utica City tie it once again. It's 7-7. We saw Mershawn Amati with his hands up on the far side, yelling for it right at the top of your screen, but instead, the decisive pass down low to Gerson, who scores with his back to goal into the near corner. 3 minutes to go, and again, we're level. Been the story all game long. Long throw by Wilkin, escapes Manny Silva. Numbers for Baltimore here. Roll down to Bramuse. Saved by Wilkin off the boards. Contact in the box. And Wilkin comes out to collect. In the midst of all the chaos, we've got 2.5 minutes to go to decide a winner. Alves held on for a moment. Played Wilkin. Goes long. Pagano in his MASL debut has been quiet. Player who scores for fun in the MASL 2 team here in Utica. Here's Amati. Tried the breakout pass. Amati's taken down off the ball, and it's a foul on Baltimore. And Amati, the retaliation. And it's a card shown to Mershawn Amati. Lost his head for a moment there. The push. And that's a crucial call against Mershawn Amati. We'll hear what the referees have to say as there's that shove down and then the elbow after, and then Amati. Contact above the shoulders.
This is under referee-initiated review for the last 5 minutes.
And there is the confirmation, referee-initiated review. So both teams lose their challenge flags earlier on in the game, but because it is final 5 minutes of course, an extremely close game, the referees are allowed to initiate a review of this incident. That's what they're looking at there on the ground between Amati and Jairo Guevara. There's that first instance. Guevara just kind of carries Amadi a little bit away. And then I think they're looking if Guevara threw an elbow there, and then there's a little push at the end by Amadi. Amadi's shouting for the elbow to the head right after the play ends. They might watch it back one more time here. And there is that elbow you see right to the head at the end of the play. That's what Amadi's complaining about. And then, of course, Amadi, no doubt about his blue card in retaliation. Here's a call.
After review, the blue card to Utica, number 49, stands is called for contact above the shoulder. However, there's also a blue card for Baltimore, number 19.
There's an all-time moment for the refereeing crew. Of course, first has to confirm the blue card against Amadi, much to the boos of Utica fans. But he holds his finger up, says, however, and then assesses a blue card to Jairo Guevara for that elbow thrown in. So instead of just one blue card against Utica, there is two, one for each team. And a big decision, and the review, definitely the right call. And of course, if you disagree with the call tonight, there's MASL's under review if you'd like to watch that, with Phil Levanko and MASL head referee Ryan Sigich. So we're in 4-on-4 for the next, I guess, until the end of the game. And so the field really opens up here as Nilton De Andrade dances away from one. Still De Andrade, he goes down. Referees say contact on the ball, and here's a 2-on-1 for Baltimore. Moving the other way. Alava, a crucial intervention at the back end. And again, if either team scores here, the 4-on-4 is not released, so it'll remain 4-on-4 until the final horn sounds, and then, of course, overtime if we carry on to that. Here's Mello, guarded by Junior Pinal. Final minute in the fourth quarter. In a heavyweight bout of a fight between two teams scrapping for that final playoff spot. Mello. Pass out wide to Pereira. No call, says the refereeing crew. Breakout attempt, Pinal turned the wrong way. And Baltimore found possession. Utica was a second behind on the change there. Logan Roberts came out a moment too late. And that could be detrimental. Here's a chance, saved by Wilkin. De Andrade on the break, 15 seconds to go. Is it Roberts? Off the boards, no one there. And Superman couldn't deliver for Utica with 3 seconds to play. This one's going to overtime. Utica's relied on their two target men up top to get the job done in the scoring. Baltimore's got the full roster putting in goals, and a bit ambitious on the restart. The clock wasn't ready to go. So again, 5 seconds of 4-on-4. Then we'll be back to 5-on-5 for the rest of the overtime period, of course, barring any blue cards. 10 minutes of sudden death soccer right here on MASL TV. And Juan Alava regains possession down low. Hooked back to goal. Brian Wilkin reads it into his hands. Alava. Spur. Back to Alava. Of course, it was Spurs' missed penalty shootout attempt earlier in this game. A myriad of missed chances. Pinal. Spur! Well, that would have been a way to make up for it, as Tavares has possession. 5-on-5 now. 10 minutes, sudden death overtime. We're a minute down. Wanalava. The UCFC chant start. Pinal. Blocked away by Rodriguez. Didn't see it until it was late. So he just had to get a forearm to it. Great save by Rodriguez. Ball up ahead. Header across goal intended for Pinal. Quick start the other way. Frater. He's been dangerous all day long. Frater. Past Alava. Deflected. Frater. Porch. Thought about it for a moment, but went out to Welly Bramoose on the far side. Pinal battling. Pinal gets turned around. Here's Porch. Gordy Gerson, hustles back. Frater again has the boards, and it's cleared away by Utica. Here's Nilton. Hook down low. Pagano, the rookie. Genrick, saved by Rodriguez. Pushed out by Baltimore. Genrick wins it back. Shots for handball. They say it's off the chest of Genrick. Through ball up ahead. Off the boards. Pagano. Lights were bright for the rookie. They have high hopes for Francesco Pagano here in Utica. Back down low to Pagano. On the turn. And the shot on the volley goes up into the netting. Ambitious effort from Tyson Santos. Juan Pereira. Curling ball to the corner. Spinning away from the challenge, Wilkin comes up with the save. 3 minutes gone in a sudden death overtime. Marshawn Amati, here's a look at the Wilkin save, popped up out of his hands. De Andrade lost it for a moment, wins it back. Had Amati ahead of him. Alava. Tavares. Back to Alava. Amati. Miscommunication between Amati and Pinal. And Baltimore can go the other way. Falling down, but possession remains with Baltimore. Tavares directing traffic on the press. (7-7). Every punch has been countered by the opposing side, but the final one will be the knockout blow. Saved by Wilkin. Silla out wide. Silla. Volleyed pass across. Jairo Guevara. It was his incident with Amati that led to the double blue card. There's a shot rolled in. Wilkin pops out of his chest. And Amati has to clear it away. Still in the back end for Utica. Tavares tumbling down. Foul called on Baltimore. 5 minutes and 33 seconds to go in the overtime period. A single goal wins it. Cheers from the Utica side. De Andrade goes long. Pinal. And Rodriguez claims it off the boards. Contact through the back of Fisher. Leads to a foul called. Good win by Fisher there. Got in the right position. Felt the contact, went down. Here's Pereira. Worked out the other way. Alava holding off his man so that Wilkin can corral it. Halfway through overtime. Searching for a winner between Baltimore and Utica. De Andrade turns. Whistle blows for a handball. Ospina They already have a delay of game warning. There's a yellow card. Here's a call by the refs.
5-minute non-power play. Yellow card against Baltimore, number 18 for the second delay game of the team.
There's that confirmation, second delay of game penalty. They got one early on, I believe the second quarter. And then Ospina just holds on to the ball. So he'll be out for the rest of this overtime period on a non-power play yellow card. DeAndrade. Long range shot, looking for the deflection of Gerson. Not a defensive clearance. DeAndrade can't believe it. Has his arms up to his head. You've got Pinal lurking on the near side. Genrick over on the far side boards with Amati and DeAndrade. And it looks like timeout called by Utica. Some miscommunication there between Genrick and Nilton DeAndrade. And you'll see on the right on that left of your screen, Genrick and DeAndrade in the midst of a discussion. Of course, Nilton DeAndrade last year, 24 games, 25 goals, 9 assists for Nilton, becoming one of Utica City's fan favorite players here inside the Adirondack Bank Center. Was a team MVP last season. Season before that for DeAndrade, it was 21 games, 26 goals. Had an even better year. And of course, out early this season with a broken foot, then celebrated the birth of his child. And now he's back, had 4 points and a win against Empire. And something interesting to note in that huddle, you see Joey Tavernisi also pop out and give some words of encouragement, mainly in conversation with Nilton, Pinal, Amati. Again, that veteran leadership, that's what Tavernisi brings to this Utica side. 4:41 in overtime. Next goal wins it in a battle for the ages between Utica and Baltimore. Of all the rivalry games, this one's up there for one of the best between these two teams. Amati, curling effort. Tried to create that half yard of space and he never could. Rolled up ahead for Genrick, who plays back to Alava. Amati from distance is high and wide. Ambitious effort for Amati, but he is the one to drag Utica back in this game. So you can't fault him for the chance to be a hero. Here's Schindler. Genrick goes flying down. He was shrugged to ground. Kevon Frater, the guilty party. Here's Genrick. Native of Long Island. Now playing with another Long Island native in Tavernisi, who's out of Garden City. Wilkin. Angled off the boards for Pinal. Pinal on the swivel. Pinal the header. And he lost possession on the way through traffic. Burners the other way for Baltimore. Up off the boards, and Brian Wilkin reads it first. They'll stop play for injury to the head of Bramoose. Wasn't a boarding call, but two players just running at full speed, not trying to stop before the boards. Spur. Again, next goal wins it. It's sudden death overtime. Pagano played out wide. Spur off the boards. Looking for either an on-running Gerson or Pagano. Near side, here's Mello. Frater battling with Alava, and Alava through an arm. Gerson hustling off to get a change as Juan Alava is called for a foul. Third foul of the game for Juan. Tavares has 4. Mello rolls it. Pereira blocked on the way through. Tavares taken down from behind. Foul goes the way of Utica. Juan Pereira can't believe it. But Tavares has a little extra height on him. So when Tavares jumps up and you see Pereira try and meet him there, it is an undercut on Tavares. Utica wants to go long, and instead, it's comfortably into the hands of Rodriguez. It's been a couple times in this overtime where Utica's done that. Tried to go long, and instead the ball just ends up in the Baltimore goalkeeper's hands. Under 3 minutes to go, sudden death overtime. Rolled all the way back. Across the face of goal, Nascimento. Silva. Here's Manny Silva. Two shots on goal against San Diego for Silva, but hasn't scored since a home game against Milwaukee. Alava. Alava under pressure. Looking for the rookie Pagano. Instead, here's Frater the other way. Alava battling, shoulder to shoulder. And Alava does well to track down Kevon Frater. And then an extra shove on the back end as Utica win another free kick on the defensive zone. Again, the yellow card to Ospina. Non-power play yellow, but he is out of play for the rest of this overtime period. Up ahead, Pinal the header. And now the other way, Rodriguez, Juan Pereira. Bit too far ahead, but ran on and covered. Here's Williams. Pereira. Short pass by Pereira. And Genrick read it well. Pinal off the boards. Amadi running onto it. And calls for timeout from Rodriguez as him and Amadi meet at the ball. We'll talk about overtime when we get there because there's 79 seconds left to find a winner, and Baltimore have pressed the issue as of late. Roll down wide, here's Juan Pereira. Looking for Pereira again. Tavares did well to deal with the first instance. Pereira heads to himself in the corner. 1 minute to go in overtime. Backheel pass. Shot on the swivel goes well wide. Rebound saved by Wilkin. Quick pass outlet to Pinal. Pinal! Saved by Rodriguez. Great stop by the netminder. Alava heads wide. Nilton. And his shot goes well into the netting. Pinal did everything right there, except he couldn't find a way past the stellar net minding of Rodriguez. Pereira. Tavares wins it back. Amadi caught under his feet for a moment. Took a deflection. Pushed away by Rodriguez. Well, that would have been some way to end it. Rolled out wide by Alava, but right into the path of Baltimore. Nascimento turns around. Final 3 seconds, and we're going to shootouts. For the first time this season, Utica doesn't have a decider in overtime, whether it's a win or a loss. And UCFC heads to shootouts against Baltimore. So we talk about shootouts when we get there. We're there now, so let's go over the shootout procedure. According to the MASL rulebook, it's a 5-second shootout procedure, best of 3 rounds, and then sudden victory after. And the way the shootout works, you saw it with Willie Spur earlier today. You start at the line, you've got 5 seconds to get around the goalie or shoot it past the goalie and score. If the 5 seconds expire, the play is dead, and the goalie wins that quote-unquote round of the shootout. Rebounds are in play on a shootout, so keep those in mind. You might go for a wall of score and try and draw out the goalie off the far boards. Shootout upcoming in 20 seconds or so when we get set. Rodriguez, Wilkin, the two goalies. Earlier this year, Drew Taylor stopped a shootout attempt in Tacoma after Wilkin was issued a blue card. Players walk out to the midway line. Rodriguez and Amati embrace at the yellow line. Rashad Amati came from MASL 2 last year. Spent some time in Albuquerque, some time in Wichita. Was a second-team All-Star in the MASL 2 a few seasons ago. Last year was an MASL running for Golden Boot in MASL 2. Now he's on the field in MASL. He's got 4 goals today for Utica. What can Amati do in the shootout? It's high off the bar and out. And the man who's dragged Utica into this game goes over Rodriguez, but over the goal in the first shootout attempt. So now up steps João Pereira, native of Sao Paulo, Brazil. 11th MASL season, 200th regular season game for Pereira. Pereira, denied by Wilkin. So still 0-0, we head to the second round of shootouts. It's best of 3, and then sudden victory after that. And here's Junior Pinal, leading point scorer for Utica, 5th in the league coming into the weekend. Pinal, saved by Rodriguez. Met it on the ground, and Rodriguez is 2 for 2 on stops. Didn't save the first one, but forced a mistake and saves the second. Jonatas Melo comes out. 25 points on the season for Melo. Saved by Wilkin. Stuck out the left hand and got it. How about the reaction and the celebration? This is Gordy Gerson. If there's ever a player to call the banker, it's Gerson. He delivers on Sundays. Here's Gerson, and he's high and wide. Silla can win the game for Baltimore. Wilkin needs a save to keep the shootout rounds going. Omar Silla can win it. Silla scores! It's over! Baltimore win the shootout and come away with 2 points on the weekend. An 8-7 final score. And the Blast come to Utica and get the job done.